Okay. Hello, everyone. Sorry, Hana just got home and I wanted to help him unload the car. And what is my face doing? Ask him about the con and all that. He is exhausted, so he's going upstairs to go take a nap and spend time with his children who have missed him terribly. I know tonight was supposed to be Paralives, but I'm hyperfixating, so we're doing a DM and chill tonight. I will make up Paralives later in the week. I also have to make up Planet Zoo for the day that I had such a bad migraine I couldn't stream. But hello everyone! If you're new to the channel and haven't seen this before, this is DM and Chill. This is the stream where I work on world building and game prep for my Monday, my every other Monday Daggerheart game in my homebrew universe. So I know I was using Loreforge a lot for like world building notes to just kind of have something on the side that I would eventually transfer into Foundry for my players as they discover places in the world and good places. I found, and this program isn't new, it's new to me. It's new to me, but apparently it's been around for a while, but this is Obsidian. It is a Markdown / CSS / website coding kind of program. I have been going through and adding everything from Loreforge over to it. I don't have everything yet, but as you can see, I can make it nice and pretty. It's a little nicer than the way that Loreforge looks, and I can download different themes and do different types of decorations. So I have all of my... These are all my homebrew ancestries. These are the ones that are based on Fire Emblem. And then I have all the official ancestries. Somehow, when I was moving stuff into Foundry for my players, I somehow forgot the Ribbits and Simias. And I was like, wait a minute, I have Ribbit and Simia NPCs. Where the heck are their ancestries when I was going in to tag stuff? Only to realize I never added them. And I feel bad because then my players didn't have them as an option. And then I have all the stuff that's essentially more than likely going to be coming out with the next book sometime this summer. I think it's dropping in like the next month or so. It might actually already be out, I don't know. These are all my assets for like templates and images and stuff. And then so far in the compendium, that's not the right thing. That's the template that I've been using. We're gonna close this real quick. This is all stuff from the template I've been using. Jesus, the cats are going crazy. I've been referencing that as I've been making, but I've started adding NPCs. So I have all of the recruitable NPCs that you guys have seen me working on. Added their tokens. I made a nice little table with some information, and I added like their... And I'm eventually going to add stuff about their history as the players learn things, and when they get the personal quests, they're going to go in here, and that's going to be more for reference for me, because if I want to make this a wiki that my players can actually go and look at, I would have to pay a subscription. I don't want to do that. I was doing that for Legend Keeper. I don't want to do that because it's just I don't think it's that expensive. I think for Obsidian for a year it's like maybe $50, but I still don't want to do that. But I did start moving stuff over from my world. So we've got the World of Remnant. I want to do some better pictures for the banners on these. Right now it's just the world map. I have the Alliance of the Aetherweave, which we've talked about. This is the Mage Country. I took all of the tables that we had where we like rolled stuff up on the different nations, and I condensed them into this paragraph, and then there's this table here that has like their trade goods. And then I have the Halidom of Terrace, which is where the players are currently going. And then I've got all that information, and then I've got the places that I recently built for that. We've got the capital. Thank you to Che and Peku for these awesome images. If you haven't heard of Che and Peku before, which I find highly unlikely because they are super popular in the D&D sphere, they have a Patreon for all these like scenes that you can pull up for your players to kind of set the mood if you don't want to make a whole map for a city and just kind of want to get the ambiance in there. I have the subscription that lets me do the animated scenes, which you actually kind of can see in the background of the stream. I pulled up one of their tavern because I like it better than the other one that I had. And then I have Invom, which is a town that they'll be going to, and Taurus, which is a city they'll be going through. These are essentially the places they're going to be going to on the course of their current quest. And then I have the Kingdom of Grian, which they will go to eventually. They're going to go all these places eventually. And I have the neutral zone where the players currently live. And I can't show you what I've built in the neutral zone because it's a spoiler for their next dungeon. So that's all information pertinent to me. But we are into the thing that I am currently doing is I am creating historical figures for my world. And I realized I could do a lot of that by building up the family tree of my ruling families. I started with the Kingdom of Grian, mainly because I knew who the founder of that, I know who all the founders are of the different nations in Remnant, but I have a very strong attachment to the founder of Grian because she is a character my players will recognize, sort of kind of they met her before in games held before the breaking of the world. Talis Talisani Lazuli is a character from the book that this world was based on, which was a book I was writing when I was like 12 that I never finished, never got published. She is thousands of years old, well, not hundreds of years old, because she was 60 something when the breaking happened, and the new world is only about a little over, it's like 978 years old. She is immortal because of her warlock pact. I mean, she can still be stabbed or poisoned, but she will not age. She will not die of old age. Her warlock patron, he's a piece of work. So essentially, Talis goes on out of respect for her brother, who was the king at the time. He wasn't the king, he was the former king at the time of the breaking. At that point, he had stepped down and given the throne to his son. And he was in his 60s. He was branded, which is, so the branded, and this is going to eventually be a playable ancestry. I haven't quite decided how I'm going to run it. It's based off of Fire Emblem. In Fire Emblem, the branded were essentially descendants of the Laguz races, which is all the races that could transform into different animals. So like the Panthera, which can turn into giant cats, the Manakete, which can turn into dragons, etc., etc. They are not directly descended. They are like, this is years down the line from like a mixed ancestry of something and one of the Laguz races. For them specifically, it's Manakete. And so the way, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to work that other than like run it kind of as a mixed ancestry, where if they want to be branded, they take the top, they take their top skill from one of the two top skills associated with the Laguz race, the Laguz ancestry they're using, and then the bottom skill from the whatever they're mixing with it. And that doesn't work for two Laguz races. If that's the case, you're Laguz, you're just two different types of Laguz. It has to be way down the line, what you appear to be, and then the Laguz that you're descended from. Because most branded, in Fire Emblem specifically, they only have humans and the beast tribes, or the Lagoos. So most branded look human, and then there's a mark on their body somewhere that denotes them as being branded. That's why they're called branded. And then they have strength or magic ability that is slightly stronger than the normal human, and that and the brand are kind of the hint that they are not entirely human. So Talus goes on to... Talus has a weird thing about love. She has a really weird thing about love. There was a guy that she liked during the course of the book's story, the book that never got written. I had all of her story arc planned out because she was one of my favorite characters that I was working on. There was a guy that she falls in love with. He's working for the bad guy. He's spying on them. And they don't find that out until after she kills him. Let me rephrase that. She doesn't find out that he's in love with her and was planning to defect until after they find out that he's spying on them, and she kills him. So that kind of fucks her up about love for a while. And then there's a guy before the breaking who's a member of the Shadowbrands, which was the thieves guild she used to run, who had a thing for her, but because she was so jaded about love, could not give in to her feelings for him, even though she loved him too. So after the breaking, and she decides out of respect for her brother to found a new dynasty under the Lazuli name, she meets Eamon. And there's no love there. She's not in love with this man. She's a friend. They're friends, and she has a strong respect for this man, but she's not in love with him. It's very much a political marriage that friendship blooms from later. And they go on to have several children. They go on to have Ether, who becomes the next king, and his wife Amelia. They go on to have Osisafeg, who is named for Talus's brother, and his wife Naimea. They go on to have Aaron and his wife Serana. Yes, that is a Skyrim reference. You're going to find there's a lot of slight references in these family trees. They go on to have Tyrannus, who is a reference to a friend of Talus's from before the breaking, and his wife Alina. And then they have Lynn, who is also named for one of Talus's old friends, and her husband Cregan. The Alistair family is actually a family that the party is slightly familiar with because Jamie Alistair is a member of the guild. So this will eventually go into Jamie's family. So after that, and I'm just going to go through the ruling line here. Ether has Eamon and Brianna. Eamon is crowned king and then later gets sick and dies. Brianna doesn't want anything to do with the throne. She's by this point, she is married. She's pregnant with her first child. She's very much devoted to her husband Jackson, which is a reference to the Dragonbriar's Pern series, and would rather stay in her home with his family. So the crown goes to Osisafeg's son, Ether. Ether is married to Alis. They also have a son named Eldon, who is gay, who marries his boyfriend Amaris. They also have a Infernus. So the Infernus are very similar to Tieflings in D&D in that they're like demon spawn. In Daggerheart, it doesn't specifically say if they're born the same way, but as Talus is the result of a demon pact from before the breaking, her ancestor made a pact with a demon to win a war, and she was born as a result of that demonic energy touching her family line. I consider that being part of the infernal thing. So because of her infernal blood, it is passed down into her family, and eventually it's going to dilute, and we're going to get infernals like every other generation, and then like once every 4 generations. So Eldin or Osisifeg is an Infernus, and Eldin is an Infernus, and Morrigan is an Infernus. So Morrigan marries Revan, and Revan is a Qatari and is a member of the Seldrin family. Now eventually I'm going to go through and do the branching families. I'm trying to focus on the line that goes straight into the ruling family right now. And then Aaron has Rhys, or has Kaelin, who marries Rhys, has Lionel, whose family will eventually become the Adalbert family, who are another important noble family that is tied to the crown. The party has met a son of that family. And then they have Kestrel and Ren, who are twins. I haven't quite decided why these two don't marry and have kids. I'm debating on 2 things for Kestrel. I'm debating on either that Kestrel just isn't interested in marrying and doesn't marry, and Ren, being her twin, follows suit, or Kestrel dies in combat and Ren is so broken by the loss of his other half, his twin, that he just never goes on to marry. He's kind of consumed by grief and spends the rest of his life kind of alone. And then Tyrannus has 2 daughters, Hannah, who marries into the Ventrell family, and Rayan, who marries into the Greenfield family. Hannah is the name of Talus's mother. Rayan is the name of one of Talus's friends, who is owned by Kagami, actually. Kagami made the original Rayan, so that's a reference to that character. And then we have the rest of the Alistair family so far. We have Talus, spelled differently but named for her grandmother. We have Kyre, who is married to Roshia, who is from the Silvervine family. And then we have Amira, who is married into the Balethor family. And that's where I kind of stopped with these different branches for now, because then I decided at that point, we're getting very wide, we're getting very all over the place. People are branching off into different family bloodlines. I'm going to focus specifically currently on the line that leads into our current royal family. So that is Aether's family. Aether goes on to have 2 sons, Alaric, which is another reference to someone Talus knew, and Osisifeg Lazuli I, who is named for his grandfather, but is the first of his name to be a ruler, which is why the other Osisifeg is not the first, because he didn't hold the throne. Alaric, I can't remember, I haven't decided what happens to him, but he's going to die. I don't know what from, but he's going to die and never take the throne, so Osisifeg takes the throne. He marries Marjorie. I don't know what house she's from yet. I will figure that out later. And then he goes on to have 4 children, 3 sons and a daughter. Another Osisifeg, this one does not go on to be king, and an Aether, who also does not go on to be king. And then his 3rd son, Eamon becomes king for a while. He and Lynette die from a disease and never have kids. So the crown passes to his youngest sister, Nymeia, and her husband, Nasil, takes her last name after she becomes queen. Nymeia and Nasil go on to have 2 children, Talon Lazuli and Duncan Lazuli. And this is when we get into, if you remember when I was rolling up the nations, all of them were rolling up plague as one of the hardships. So, this is where the plague comes in and why there's a lot of people that die. So, Talon goes on to marry Merwin. Talon becomes king. Duncan goes on to marry Margaret, and they have 3 sons. All 3 die to the plague. Merwin and Talon have 1 son, Talon II. II marries Weirin. They have 4 daughters, and then Weirin dies from the plague. I believe my plan is that all of these girls also died to the plague. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm gonna decide how a lot of these people die later once I actually have like names and stuff. Now, and then Talon marries again to Nissa, and they have 1 son together, Torin. Torin survives the plague, but abdicates the throne because he does not want to have to clean up this mess. He is like, I'm not dealing with this shit. And then Nissa dies from the plague. Then Talon finally says, fuck it, I'm not doing another political marriage. I'm going to marry this girl that has worked for my family for years, that I've been in love with since I was a child. I'm going to marry for love this time. So he marries Sarah, and they have 3 children together. Elspeth, who dies from the plague. Edric, who dies from the plague. And then Eamon Lazuli III, who survives, becomes king, and goes on to marry Ivy. Torin goes on to have 3 daughters, who all marry into other families. And that is kind of where that part of the Lazuli line ends and just kind of melds into other families. So now I have to decide on Eamon's children, Eamon III's children. That's where we're at right now. We're not that far from the current rulers. I think we're 3 or 4 generations away from where I want to be with the current rulers. So Eamon is going to have 3 kids. Yeah, I'm gonna give him 3 kids. I'm gonna give him 2 sons and a daughter. The daughter's gonna marry into another family. I think the second son is either gonna be gay and marry but not have kids, or I'm gonna kill him. I haven't quite decided yet. I'll get there in a second. So let's start with, you guys aren't gonna see this while I'm working on it, but I am gonna be looking for portraits kind of off screen. I do have the Clip Studio file up with the layout for the portraits. I just don't want you guys to have to sit there and watch me go through 50 different folders on my computer looking for portraits. Because I have so many folders of gacha game graphs, and I'm trying to rotate which games I'm using. So for like Torin's kids, I used Fire Emblem Heroes. So for Eamon and Ivy's kids, I want to try to use a different gacha game. So let's see. I'm going to use... Let's go with the Atelier series and see what I can find from there. There was someone I wanted to use. Yeah, let's go with you. So that's 1 son. Now I need another. No, I've used you already. No. You could work. We'll throw you in there. And then a daughter. Do I have any more? I might. I have to look who I have. Not you. Not you. Let's see what I've got here. the show, Lord Laxi. We are world building for my Daggerheart game. I am currently working on the family tree of my ruling family. Currently, I am looking for artwork I've pulled from gacha games to use for placeholder. By the way, all of these tokens that I'm using in Obsidian, these are placeholders. None of these characters actually have to have tokens in art, because while they will be referenced, the party will never meet them. They're there for my benefit. Just so that I remember what I'm looking at. At least until I go in and put in their ancestry information, their histories, stuff like that. For now, it's just placeholder art that they don't technically need. But let me see what I've got that I can do. You could work. Yeah, why not? Let's use you. Where did that file go? I lost the file. Shoot. Isn't you? Okay, you are after... There you are. So Daggerheart is a tabletop RPG, kind of like Dungeons and Dragons. So this is a game that I run on every other Monday with some of the crew from RevPro and some of our friends. Okay, oh, you are small. We will resize you and you're gonna look terrible, but you're still placeholder, so it doesn't really matter. This is also just so that when I go back and kind of describe what they look like, I have something to go off of that I can essentially be like, okay, I'm going to take these couple features and carry them over into my description, but not necessarily use the picture. Okay. What do I want to name you? Do I want to pull from your family? Yeah, let's do that. We're gonna name you Duncan Lazuli after one of your cousins. I'm just gonna put 2 after your name so I have a differentiation between the 2 Duncans. And then let's grab you. What do we want to name you? Let's go with Connor. I'm using a lot of like Scottish names or Irish names. Okay, and then you, I'm just gonna, there we go. Oh, you're awfully small, but that's okay. Oh, don't do that. Okay, and you are the only girl out of these kids. We are going to name you... Do I want another Nymea? Why not? We can do another Nymea. I want to keep that name in the family. Those are our 3 kids for Eamon and Ivy. And let's make their pages. So we have, what order do we want to do this in? So we have Duncan, Lazuli, and are you going to go on to become king? I think you are. Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna be Duncan Lazuli the second. No. Yes. Duncan Lazuli. Are we on the second? Or are we on the first? Hold on. I have to check something. No, you never ruled, so this would be Duncan Lazuli the first. You are Duncan Lazuli the first, because you are the first to hold. You are the first Duncan Lazuli to hold the title of king. Your father is Eamon the Third. Your mother is Ivy. Create person. I don't need you open. Wait, did I choose the wrong Eamon? I didn't choose the wrong Eamon, did I? No. Okay. Cool. Okay, so that's the oldest. And then let's actually bring their pictures in so that I can actually. So we have Duncan, Connor, and Naimea. We're just gonna put them there because my folders are all messed up, but I will fix it later. And we're going to add Connor Lazuli. He is male. Pronouns are he, him. Father is Eamon the Third. Mother is Ivy. Yeah, and this thing resets every time I add a new person or update something. It's a little annoying, but I did not have to pay for this Family Tree Maker program because the one that I started out using had a subscription and I wanted nothing to do with that. Okay, and then Naimea, who is not a ruling party, does not get a number next to her name. Her father is Eamon the Third. Her mother is Ivy. And then let's just attach their pictures. Alright. Tie Connor to Connor. We want to tie Duncan to Duncan the First. And we want to tie Naimea to Naimea. Okay. So now I have to pick spouses for this generation. So each of these girls, their last names are going to change as soon as I decide what family they marry into. And I might get into the point where they start marrying cousins, because that's definitely very period. So let's have them marry someone from the Windspire family. Okay, so Enid can marry somebody from the Windspire family, and the other two can marry into other noble houses. Let's do that. So let's go pick some husbands. Let me go look through my stuff. Right. You guys are done. I think I'm gonna pull from the Tales series. Let's see. Let's go through Zisteria. Who do I have in Zisteria? That's Alicia. Wait. Do I want to hold on to you for some... Oh, I want to hold on to you for something. Maybe I can have you marry... Oh, you're pretty. I forget which Tales game or which Tales mobile game I pulled these from. Was it Asteria? It might have been Asteria. I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna keep you, and I think I'm gonna have you marry one of the other rogues. I'm just gonna hold on to you for later. Dazzle, no. Edna, no. No, I need... No. No. Who are you? Oh, I don't remember who you are. I haven't played Zestiria in forever. I might need to go back and replay it. Micleo! Oh, I kind of want to use him. Is there a good, like, noble looking, princely look? Ooh. Maybe. Ooh, I like the one with the harp, with the lyre, because the one ancestor also has a lyre in his photo. So maybe we'll go with that? I think it's my favorite so far. Yeah, let's go with this one. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna hold on to you. And then... not Rose. This program's so easy to work with. I love it so much. Do I want to use Saray? You don't give me noble family vibes. You give me kid trying to be noble vibes. Oh, Zavid. Okay, let's try Exilia 2. This is all... most of the characters from Exilia 2 have more futuristic looking clothes. Who the fuck are you? I don't remember who the fuck you are. I need to replay a lot of the Tales games. Celsius is a girl. She's also an elemental. Not Kronos. Not Elise or Gaius. My man, I love him so much. Look at that! Sorry. I love him so much. I think he's one of my favorite characters in Exilia. Yeah, we can use you. Okay, we just need one more husband for the daughters. Look at this man! I don't know if you guys can see him. I think you guys can see him. Not Jude. Not Julius. No. No. Do you look posh enough that I'd be down? But you also look like an asshole, so... Alright. Okay. Now the other thing that I have off screen is a name randomizer. Because sometimes I can't think of names. So I use the name randomizer to give me good names. So I'm gonna go pull that up real quick. Pull that up on this screen. I just accidentally closed the window with the chat. I am not doing well tonight. If we can get to the point where I have this line of the family together, I don't know if we're gonna get that far. I'm gonna try, because we're only a few generations out, but they're one of the generations I'm planning has a lot of kids. Like, too many kids. I'm gonna go Irish, Scottish, Celtic, Anglo-Saxon, Arthurian, and stuff from literature, and see what we get. And I'm just gonna generate the name a couple times. Ooh, okay, I like that, actually. Let's go with that. Tristan. You are Tristan. I need a noble house name. let's see. Ooh, let's do that. Okay, Tristan Kenneth. And then eventually we'll branch off and make this part of the family later. Okay, I can close you. You're gonna be the one. No, wait, he can't be Kenneth. He has to be Windspire. Shoot. Shoot, 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 shoot. He has to be Windspire because of who his token picture reminded me of. Okay. You can be from the Kenneth house. Okay. Ugh, those eyes. Okay. So, your name... What shall we name you? If my name randomizer would work. I think I broke it. Oh, there we go. Ooh, okay. Let's do... Lou. Because that is a name that carries over in the family. And then you... Okay, what house are we gonna make you from? Let's do... Oh, okay, let's do Virtus, because that sounds pompous. And then... Okay, so we're gonna do... Domal Virtus. That sounds good. Okay, let's go add these three. Gonna move these down to the right folder because... Okay, Windspire. And where's Kenneth? There we go, okay. Just gotta throw the three of them in there. And we want... Okay, we have Enid, Alis, and Dorothea. So we're gonna start with Tristan. Windspire. He, him. And you are married to Enid. Okay, and then we have Alis, who's going to be married to Lou. And you are married to Alis. So it resets itself 50 million times. And then finally... Dorothea is married to Domal. Who I think we're going to make non-binary. I need to add more of that into the family tree. Okay, now we just have to add the pictures. So let's see here. I also need to change names. So your last name is now Windspire. Your last name is now Kenneth. And your last name is now Virtus. Yeah, that's usually how I do this. And that way when I look back at the picture I used for them, it'll still say Lazuli on the file name, and then I can remember what their maiden name is. Okay, let's attach the pictures. So, Dommel is linked to Dommel. Lou is linked to Lou. And Tristan is linked to Tristan. Okay. That's kind of where I'm going to stop on that branch for now, because they do not go into the royal family. They do. And Duncan needs a wife. I think Connor's just not going to marry. Or he's going to die. And then Naimea marries into a different family. So let's go pick a wife for... I have a wife picked for Dommel. Let's go pick a husband for Naimea. Just gonna get rid of those. And I think I'm gonna pick her husband from War of the Visions. I just have to go pick someone I like. Ooh, actually, let's go with you. I need to turn you from a WebP into a PNG though, so let me go grab Krita. I have like 3 image editing programs open at the moment. I'll save as a PNG. And then I'm just gonna throw you in here. I don't need you anymore. Let's grab you. Okay. I need a name for you. Where's my name generator? We're just gonna change our settings from male to female, or masculine to feminine. Okay, I really like that name, but I don't know how it's pronounced. So I am going to take a minute to look up that pronunciation, because it is very Irish. Oh, it's just Anya. Okay. That is an interesting way of writing Anya, but I like that. We're going to go with that. Okay, that is your name now. I need a noble house for you. Let's see. Your first name... Let's go with Roderick. I like the name Roderick. And then I need a name for your house. You are of House Kael'rith. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's go add you two to the... And I just move my files where I want them. So we want Roderick, and we want Anya. Okay. We're gonna add Anya Lazuli. Your spouse is Duncan the First. Did I do that right? Did I grab the right person, or did I just fuck this up? No, I did the right. I grabbed the right person. Okay. And then Roderick is married to Nymea. Fuck. How do I spell your last? How do I... Kael'rith. Sometimes I don't remember the shit I write. You are married to... Nah. Oh god, there's multiple Nymeas. Ah, I knew this was gonna happen. What is your... What is your ID? KBM 326. Okay. That's when you look up the file ID. Okay. So we want spouse, Nymea, KBM. Okay. Now let's attach their pictures. Okay, so from here we're going to Duncan and Anya's kids, which is going to be... I want him to have a lot. But I don't want all of them to marry. I think we have one of them maybe marry twice. So let's do... 1, 2, 3... We'll do 4 sons and 2 daughters. Yeah, I like the idea of that. Okay, let me... Hello, Nick! Welcome to the show. It's just a chill world building stream where I am working on the royal family for my... At this point, I think I'm going to have the Infernus blood skip a few generations because the current heir to the throne is Infernus. So I think we're going to have it skip a few generations until her. Because at this point, the blood is very diluted. But, okay. Okay, so we want 4 sons and 2 daughters. So let me start picking pictures. That's the cat's feeder. We'll see if they come down from upstairs to eat it all. I think I'm gonna stick with Brave Exvius for pictures. Just because I haven't pulled from this one a lot. See, I'm not liking much of what I'm seeing, though. Okay, I'm gonna try... see what I can find out of the characters from Sword of Convaleria. I might have exhausted... oh, no, you could work. Let's grab you. I have to turn you into a PNG file. So that's 1 son. I need 3 more. And 2 daughters. Kind of like you for one of the daughters. I'll come back to you. Yeah, I think I've exhausted the male characters out of that one. Let's... okay, I'm gonna pull up Fire Emblem and see what I can do. Don't mind me leaning back in my chair a little bit. My back's actually bugging me. See what we can do here. Ooh! I think I'm gonna use you and you. Let's go with this one. And I believe there's a matching version of Sharina because I'm just grabbing from Fire Emblem again. There is indeed. So she'll be one of the sisters. See what I can do for another one of the brothers. How many do I have? Just one. I need 3 more. Okay, let's see. You could work. Okay, so that's 3. I need 1 more for the brothers. Okay. Let me go. Convert these to PNGs. Okay, so we've got you. That's what I wanted. We've got you and you and you. 2, 3, 4, and you, and then there was someone from sort of Convalaria I wanted to go back to. You. I have to convert you to a PNG. Okay. I have all these WebP files, and Clip Studio does not like WebP files. Hi, Lucina. I'm surprised to see you down here. I didn't think you'd leave Daddy's side. You've been the most vocal about missing him. Okay. So I think we're gonna make you the oldest. then, do we want to pull a name from our past? Have we had no cease effect this generation? I don't think we've had no cease effect for a little while. Yeah, that's the last one. Sure, alright. Let's do a no cease effect, because I want that name to really carry through the family. Alright, so you are going to be Osisafeg Leslie the second. So you are the second in the family to rule with that name. Okay. And then it's 4 boys and then the 2 girls are the youngest. So let's do you next. Wrong file. Ah. I can't imagine this is entertaining, but I hope you guys are having fun. Just listening to me mess around with world building. Okay. And we are going to name you. Do I want to pull your name from the family's past? We haven't had an ether in a while, have we? We've had an Eamon. We have not had an ether. Let's do ether. Okay. And then you're gonna be the youngest boy, so let's go with you next. We are going to name you Nasal, because we need that name further in the family. Okay. And then you are the youngest of the boys. We are going to name you Kieran. And now we're off to the girls. So I think you, especially because your portrait has a crown on, I'm going to have marry into the Scale Singer family, and that will be the first record of an alliance between the Kingdom of Grian and the Halidom of Terrace. So we are going to name you Talasani, after the family founder. And then I think you are actually going to be older than her. And I don't think I'm going to have you marry. I think you are just going to be... No, you know what? You're gonna marry, but you're gonna marry a woman. I've had a couple gay marriages for men. I haven't had many lesbian. There's someone in the family who was a lesbian but didn't get married. And then you are going to marry a woman. So, what do you want to name you? Ooh, I like that. Okay, we're gonna go with Savoie. Okay, let's add all of these. Alright, let's see. Now I have to remember them all. Another ether. That's all of them, right? Am I missing anybody? 1, 2, 3. No, I'm missing somebody, I think. 1, 2, 3. I am missing somebody. Who? Where is he? Sometimes I feel like I'm blind. Sometimes I think the reason that sometimes the portraits are hard to find is because I did them all in that sepia tone. I suddenly can't remember what I named him either. Did I not save him? Ether, Osisafag, Karen. What did I name you? Now I don't remember. Did I not name you? Did I not save you? I don't see you in my files anymore. Where did you go? I feel like I'm going crazy. I don't think I saved his token. I cannot find him. No, I did. It's okay, it's nasal. That's what I thought. Okay. I'm just blind. There you are. Okay. Kage is blind. Alright, so we have all of Duncan's kids. So we're gonna do this. Alright. Oh, Anya, that's right. Okay, so we have Osisafeg Lazuli the second is male. His father is Duncan the first. His mother is Anya. I just want to make sure that they're made properly, the way they're supposed to be. Yep, okay. And then Next is Ether. His male. His father is Duncan the First. His mother is Anya. Next is Nasal. Father is Duncan. Mother is Anya. And finally, out of the boys is Kieran. Which is Duncan the First and Anya. And then it's Sabia. Who is female. Finally, Talisani. Talisani, scale singer, because she's going to be marrying into the scale singer family. Now, let's attach their pictures. Okay. Now, for partners for all of these people. Out of them, okay. Okay, we are just about on the generation where I want to be. Okay, so let's start with finding a portrait for Osisifex's wife. Yeah, okay. Let's go through Unicorn Overlord, because I don't use this one enough. Ooh, okay, let's use you. And I'm gonna do this one couple at a time just so I can keep things straight. This would be around the time that the wars for the neutral zone started, so her having armor on her glove isn't or a gauntlet for her glove isn't a huge deal. Okay. We are going to name you Moira. Moira Leslie. Spouse. You are the spouse of Osisifeg the second. I think. Did I do that right? I did, but I How did that happen? There. Okay. Okay. Ether is not going to marry. Nasal does, and he's going to have two wives. He's going to have a wife that, I'm going to say, dies in childbirth, and then he marries again later. I think is how I'm going to do it. So let's go look for pictures for his 2 wives. One of them can be an elf, I think. Welcome back, JD. Okay. Please don't make me have to turn down the tolerance some more. Okay. Okay. I need a good elf name for you. Where is my elf name generator? Because it's me, and I'm like, no. Try to stay away from... Ooh, let's do Talia. Okay, so your name is Talia Lazuli. You are going to have 2 children, and then you're going to die in childbirth. It seems so mean when I put it that way. Let's grab you for his 2nd wife. Listen, it's a medieval fantasy world. Childbirth is dangerous. What are we gonna name you? I'm gonna name you Eileen. It's a strong Irish name. Okay, so let's throw his wives in there. We want Eileen and Talia. Oh, let's move Moira real quick. Okay, so we want... Who are we married to? We are married to Nasal. Oh god, there's 2 Nasals. What is your ID number? BLR 914. Okay. I'm not trying to do like Game of Thrones where it's like don't get attached to anyone, but I'm also trying to make the passage of time realistic, especially in a world that was destroyed and rebuilt and society had to start over from scratch, which is why for the 900 years that this world has been existing, the royal family line is not like 35 generations. First of all, there's Manicheet blood, so a lot of people are going to live a long time, but also it's going to take them about 200 years to build something sustainable. Just helps that Talus is immortal. Let's see if that worked the way I wanted it to. Yep, okay. And then his second wife, who I think is going to be Moira's sister, because that's not uncommon as well. I'm probably gonna do cousins marrying cousins at some point, but keep it limited. And I'm gonna try to do it like 4th or 5th cousins. Because that's not unheard of either in, like, medieval times. Okay, so that's his 2 wives. Let's link their artwork. Okay. And then Kieran, are you gonna marry? Yeah, we'll let you marry. I know. And this is just one branch of the family. I still have to do all the other branches and how they fan out. But we're almost to the current rulers. I think we might actually get there by the end of the night. Okay. So Kieran's gonna get married. Let me go pick a portrait for his wife. Oh god. Kraz, I love you. I'm streaming. Stop sending me Pokemon memes. Let's try someone from... Ooh, I know who I want to use from Tales of. I know exactly who I want to use from Tales of. Where is she? Where is my girl? Let me find a good portrait for her. Okay, I want to go with this one. Tales of the Abyss is my favorite game. Tyr is my favorite character. I want to cosplay her someday. And I want my husband to cosplay Luke. And we are going to name you... generating. Ooh, let's go with Isolde. I like that. There's a Tristan in the family a ways back too. Tristan and Isolde. Yay for Arthurian references that only a few people are gonna get. Okay. We'll decide what family you're from later. And your husband is Kieran. We're just gonna... Okay. Savoie is gonna end up with a woman. So we can go pick somebody for her. grab somebody from Fire Emblem, I think. Is my model not moving? My model's not moving. I'm gonna restart Wadado. It keeps doing this. Like halfway through stream, my model will just break. I'm gonna restart Wadado so that my model is moving again. Technical difficulties. There we go. Now I'm moving. Okay. I hope we get to the end of this tonight. We'll see, because there's still quite a few kids. Alright, let's use you. Wadado's supposed to not take up that much memory. Like, I don't know, it might be the fact that I have Wadado open, I have Clip Studio Paint open, I have Krita open, I have Obsidian open, I'm actively streaming. One day I will upgrade this from this computer, and I won't have this problem. But this computer is a hand-me-down. And I'm not complaining because it's so much better than my old laptop. My old laptop, I could barely play anything on stream without it overheating. In fact, last time we went down to my parents, and I was trying to play FF14 on it, the game kept crashing on me like every 10 minutes. Oh, what are we gonna name you? We're gonna name you Bridget, because I like that name, and it's a reference to an Irish goddess. We're going to go with very old Irish spelling. Oh, we're cutting it close. We might not actually get to the end of this family tonight. If we don't, I will finish them tomorrow morning and share them tomorrow. You've seen me work on them in Foundry when I was making their stats and their abilities. Okay. You need a husband. And your husband is going to be branded and or a mannequin. Well, they can't be branded and a mannequin, so branded or a mannequin. I think I know who I want to use for your husband. Because I don't think I've used him yet. And he doesn't get enough love. Because Genealogy has not gotten a remake yet, and I am sad. Genealogy is such a good game. Let's go with this one. I like this one of you. we are going to name you Wolf. Because it sounds cool. Yeah, unfortunately, I've got at least one more generation between the current ruler and where we are now. But this is a good spot. We got pretty far tonight. I think we're going to stop here, though, and I will finish off the rest tomorrow, and I'll just post where the rest in the Discord. Because, it's getting pretty long. This branch is pretty big. But I think this is where we're going to end tonight. I want to go up and spend some time with my husband who's been gone all weekend. But schedule will go up tomorrow, and I will see you all on Tuesday. But in the meantime, matane!